to Susannah's kitchen, although I'm not in the kitchen right now. Just about to edit this video for you and realised I hadn't done an intro to introduce you to what I'm actually making today. So this one is great. I've already made it at this point, so I can tell you it is really, really delicious. So this is going to keep you really full, it's really comforting, and it's a nice kind of autumn, winter warmer, this one. So it is my spiced carrot and lentil soup. So lots of added fibre and protein in there as well with the lentils. And I've used up just so many carrots out of my garden. So if you are somebody that grows your own veg as well, this is a really useful recipe. If you want to swap out a few of the carrots for maybe some potato as well, you could do that because it's just obviously going to help thicken the soup, bulk it out a little bit. So you can kind of mix it up a little bit if you wish to. Of course, we're going to be using the Ninja Foodi, and I pressure cooked this, and it's really, really quick and easy. The nice thing about this as well, you can make a really big batch of it, keep it in the fridge. It's going to store in a Tupperware container really well for a few days. If not, you can just bung it in your freezer and then get it out when you want it. So I like to do that. I like to have my freezer full of good home cooked food, especially this time of year where everyone's getting like coughs and colds and there's COVID flying around. You know, we want to really kind of give ourselves some really good nutritious food. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. And just to quickly mention, if you've not been over to my website, I've got my cookbooks available over there and also my recipe subscription. So if you do want my recipes so that you can actually print them out and then follow them, then that is the way to do it. It's really inexpensive and we've got a really great community over there. I'm also going to mention, because I don't always talk about this very much, is if you're not on there, then you need to go over to my Facebook group. My Facebook group is such a nice place for everybody to chat, to ask questions, to share what they've made, and I think it's really, really useful. So it's just Susannah's Kitchen over on Facebook. So if you want to join, then please do that as well. Right. We need to get in the kitchen. Let me show you how I made this recipe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me. And I really hope you give this a try. So I'm making a spiced carrot and lentil soup, and you can serve this just with some crusty bread or even some really nice little cheese toasties, which you could air fry separately. So this is a really nice, hearty kind of autumnal dish. I'm going to start off with my cumin seeds. Now I'm going to toast about a tablespoon, roughly, of cumin seeds. And I'm just going to toast those dry in the bottom of my Ninja pot. I'm then going to remove these and set these aside because these are actually going to be a garnish for the soup. Obviously, if you don't want to do this or you can't be bothered, then you can just skip this part. It's not essential, but I quite like my soup with these on the top. A little bit of coriander goes really nicely. These should just take a minute or two. You can smell them when they start to become nicely toasted. Just going to give these a little bit longer. They're nearly done. Right, so I've removed those, just set those aside. Now you can go in with vegetable oil or olive oil, whatever you want to use. And then I've got a large onion, which I have peeled and chopped up. So let's get that in. My pot's nice and hot now. It's sizzling away. Into my onion, I'm going to add some salt. That's going to help soften it, I should say. Came out a bit weird, didn't it? And then some black pepper in there as well. And then at this point, I add my cumin seeds. Are actually going to go into the dish. So another tablespoon of those. And they will toast off as we are softening and cooking our onion. So we want to do this until the spice is nicely fragrant, and then also my onion will become a little bit translucent. Just going to turn down the sear and saute because that was up really high, just so that these don't colour too much, but they soften down nicely. About 5 minutes. Into the softened onions, I'm going to put a stick of celery. That's just been diced up, so let's stir that through. And then here comes a huge amount of carrots. You'll notice that mine have got slightly different shades to them, and that's because they have been growing in my garden. This is a great way of using up my carrots. That's 900 grams. They've been peeled, and then as you can see, I've cut them into rounds, into circles. So again, just stir those carrots through. I've rinsed my lentils. I'm using red lentils, and that is 100, oh, they're really stuck, 150 grams. There you go, they're in now. Wow, they really did get stuck. So break those up, give those a stir through, and now in with the vegetable stock. And it's a lot. So that's 1 litre and a half. So 1.5 litres total. Just going to scrape out some of my stock pots, just got stuck on the bottom there. And that's going to give us extra flavour, so we do want that in there. So this is a very simple recipe, this one. There really isn't a lot to it. Now, as you saw, I put salt and pepper in earlier. If you want to add additional salt and pepper, I tend to like to cook this and then taste it and then season it at the end as I'm serving it, just to make sure that those flavours are correct. Now, you can, of course, spice this up even more if you want to. I quite like this. It is just subtle with that cumin in there. But if you want to add some chili, if you want to have a bit more of a kick, then you can do that. But that is all there is to it. So I'm going to close the lid. We're going to seal the pressure valve, and then I'm going to flick over to pressure cook, and I want this on high. I do want the natural release, and I want 15 minutes. Here we go. It smells absolutely wonderful. But of course, we've now got a chunky soup with smaller pieces in it, but it all needs to be blended up. Obviously, if you don't want to blend the whole lot, you don't have to, but I prefer mine completely blended. So I'm going to leave this to cool for a bit, and then we'll start blending. I've got my bowl, my bread ready. I've got some coriander so we can top it. I've got those lovely toasted cumin seeds. And this has now been blended fully. Look at this. It is just the right consistency. I've added nothing to this. I like mine fairly thick, but still loose enough. And this has worked out absolutely perfectly with those quantities. And the flavour and smell, oh, it's incredible. Such a good hearty soup. Plus the lentils give us lots of protein. It's going to keep you full and really satisfy you. Thank you so much for watching today's recipe. Please do leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you give it a try, I'd love to get some feedback from you too.